Good evening, everybody. This is CmdrAleon with Encounters, the #1 spiritual UFO talk show on social media. And we were on last night, had some technical problems. We fixed it. The commander fixed the problem thanks to one of our viewers. We fixed it, so we are live and well. Yes, indeed. Even technology can't keep the commander down, so it's all good. And welcome to Encounters, a show that's out of this world. I am a contactee, host of WESU-FM's Cosmic Eye Radio for 21 years. And not only that, but my father on the ship over a month ago gave me some abilities within me to help people. Hey, Cliff, good to see you, brother. Good to see everybody here. Hey, and Cole, everybody. I know a lot of you missed me, and last night was a crazy night. And I really didn't get to do what I wanted to do. And so we're doing it tonight. Yes, indeed. So now I'm really focused. I got a clear head, and I'm now in that vibrational space to talk about what's happening. So we're going to get into that. Hey, Johnny, good to see you, brother. Lavola, good to see you. And Cole, you're gone past 2 nights. Melody, thank you for the heart. I need to set my goals up, which I didn't set up tonight so far, but I'm going to while I'm here. Let's see here. Okay, we're going to set my goals up here. It'll take me a moment to do, but I'm just setting them up, and I just did. Hey, Dragon, good to see you, everybody. Caligo, good to see you, all the new people, all our regular folks. Thank you for the hanging light. I appreciate it. And I'm really, really amped up here. And I want to get into really discussing the objects. I don't say object, but objects that are coming to Earth. I want to get into getting people have heard about this. I've been really focused on it a little bit the last few days, and I think it's going to be a great discussion. And I don't know if anyone else out there has been focused on it or watching any of it, but I think it's something we need to discuss. Now, I preface that statement by letting you know that has nothing to do with 2026, with the major contact in 2026. It has all to do with the fact that there was this object that the James Webb Telescope has seen and recorded, and it changed direction. So this object was recorded going in a certain specific direction. Now, it wasn't a comet or a meteor or asteroid, because an asteroid doesn't have an intelligence to say, okay, I'm going to go towards Earth. I'm going towards planet X. All right? So that's thrown out the window. There's no way that happens. Number two, is it possible that there was like a space weather problem and this thing is now pushed towards Earth? Maybe, but very unlikely. Number three, the most obvious thing is, and it's really obvious, is that I have it on recording on the Alexa app. I did an experiment about 2 days ago before I went live, and I recorded it. And then my question was, I asked the Alexa app, the James Webb Telescope has detected objects heading to Earth. And the answer I got from, which I thought would be, I don't understand that. You know how the app says, I'm not going to use the word because I've got one I'm hooked up in the bathroom. But it says, I don't understand that. I don't know what that is. That's its response, right? Now, I expected the same response. What it said blew my mind. It says an armada of alien spaceships. This is recorded. I've got it documented right here on TikTok. It says an armada of alien spaceships. They use the words alien. Spaceships are coming to Earth. Now, I would not call them alien, but it did. So what really it's saying is there's an armada of spaceships. Yes, we're back. Armada of spaceships coming to Earth. Jay Niner, I want to have you up tonight to talk about the incredible sightings you're having right now. It's pretty amazing. And I think it's all related. But it said that an armada of spaceships are coming to Earth. Now, it's all the way you present the question. Also, now, if I present and I say an object is coming to Earth, it was talking about an asteroid coming to Earth. But when I said the James Webb Telescope has detected objects coming to Earth, I said it that way, like that way to see what it would do. And it automatically told me, hey, media woman, thank you so much. It automatically told me that armada of alien spaceships are coming to Earth. It was clear as a bell. So I had to document it. So I had to make sure it wasn't a glitch or some weird thing or whatever. And I recorded it just so in case people say, that's not true. I got it on recording. You want to go up against that, forget it. Hey, Scrubs USA, good to see you. And now I also really feel that we're going to have a lot more stuff happening. We already are. You're going to see, as we go into 2025, a real increase of these sightings. Things are going to be amping up. It says, I'm curious, on your opinion, is smoking bad? Yes. I think people should not smoke, especially because I believe that your body is your temple and it clogs up your consciousness. So yeah, people, if you had to give up anything, give up smoking. If you're having a glass of wine with dinner or something, or a hard cider, maybe a glass, bottle of beer, whatever. But smoking clogs up your system. Yeah, there's lagging on a little bit of lagging on TikTok tonight. Yeah, see? Yeah, Papa Smurf. Yeah, it's all in the way you ask the question. We're doing good, Daniel Starr. Good to see you, brother. Telly, thank you for the heart me. I am really energized after last night. Do you believe in tumor fish? I don't know what tumor fish are. Something wrong. Wong. I have no idea what that is. I never smoked or drink alcohol. Good. I would suggest, as we get close to contact, a lot of people, as hard as it might be, meditate and talk yourself out of, if you've had it's kosher, okay. Talk yourself out of, smoking, heavily drinking, because when contact happens, you want to be as clear as you can. Especially, if you get visited, you want to have a clear conscience. And that's really, really important when it comes to contact. Man, I'm so amped up tonight, incredibly amped up. And I'm going to answer as many questions as I can. If it's off topic, I'm not going to talk about things. But if you ask me, like, related to, smoking affect my cosmic, abilities, yeah, it will. It just needs to. There's no in between for me. It's like I don't smoke, I really don't drink, and I'm just really focused on cosmic consciousness and really focused on the mission. All these other things are just distractions that people don't need. It might be comforting, but meditation is comforting too, right? Meditation, to get to the inner self, to the higher self, to the cosmic self, meditation is really the key. You don't need a cigarette or whatever to get yourself feeling good and calm. That stuff is just going to mess up your physical cellular structure. Because contact is coming, and when the space people do connect with us, you don't want to come up to them and say, I just had a couple of bottles of wine, and here I am. No, you don't want to be that. You want to be the best representation of Earthlings as possible. You want to be the best representations of Earthlings. Me too, Johnny. Me too, Hey, Wisdom Keeper. Good to see you, brother. Thank you for the roses. So Lisa B says, I'm sure I've been on a ship already, and I am going to see if I can invite Lisa B. So you have to be over 18, no smoking, no vaping, no drinking, no foul language, no drunks, no whatever, no kids on the show, no paranormal discussion, no religion, and no politics. So we'll see if we get Lisa B up here. Belladonna says, I'm focused on my telepathy visions and moving things with my mind. Beautiful, if you can do that. I don't drink, but I smoke. Yeah, I would say if you can eventually meditate and tell yourself that you don't need to smoke anymore, it's going to make a big difference. So let the meditation be your addiction. Not that that's an addiction or anything, but you can just gradually, like maybe, instead of smoking, get a gallon of apple cider. Become an apple cider person like me. And I'll tell you, it tastes a lot better. Hey, Jersey for Life, good to see you. Hey, Peggy. Good to see everybody. She's only has 47 followers. Yeah, she only needs a couple more followers to go live. So, if she is still here, B, where is she? Lisa B. We're going to pin Lisa B up. She has 47 followers. So if she gets a few more, we can probably bring her up as a guest. She says, I'm sure I've been on a ship already. So just follow her, and I'll see if I can bring her up as our first guest. We are really focused on contact. And, I won't just bring people up. If I see a name, I don't know who it is. I want that person to make a comment, and maybe I'll have to look and see what the comment is. Maybe they did. How do I make contact? Doris, the chicken. The first thing you have to do, Doris, is one of the things I'd recommend is get the C5 app downloaded, which is Dr. Stephen Greer's app on your iPhone or your Android phone. Download, it's like $10. Learn the protocol of peaceful visual contact. It's going to be visual first. Learn to do that with the CE5 app, Doris. So I'm going to start you off with that and then if you have other questions, once that happens, then I'll teach you how to make contact with, again, positive star people. Hey, Susan, Jersey for Life, thank you. Hey, Julie. My internet is lagging. Yeah, it's just, it's TikTok tonight. There's some lagging going on. Linda watches the skies all the night. She lives in the country. Let's see here. Oh, I have El Pinguo. Let me see here. I'll bring this person up. And again, they're in Santiago. They were born in Santiago. Arrived in the United States at age 5, veteran. And again, what I'm talking about tonight is, if you have any questions about contact and about what happened with the James Webb Telescope, I can talk a lot about that from my perspective of what's coming to Earth. And I've watched all the videos from TikTok to whatever, and one person said, it'll be in 2039. And that's not happening. I think this armada of spaceships will be here, and I don't know, I'm not going to say weeks or a month. I think they're going to be here way quicker. Whatever that is, they will be here quicker than we know it. And I think the Pentagon's aware of it. Of course, NASA's aware of it. Their telescope, James Webb Telescope, has recorded and picked up this thing. Now, some people think it's one big solid object, but according to the Alexa app, it's an armada of alien spaceships. So, hey. I think it's Robert. Okay, Robert Anthony. I'm going to go by Robert. I see the name there. As long as we're over, let's see, I'll bring Robert up here. And we are talking about what's happening with this armada of spaceships coming over, and it's all related. And so, Robert, good evening. Welcome to the show.
Hello, sir. Thank you for letting me be here. I'm 52.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you with us.
I'm 52, and I think this is a great topic. It's the first time I've seen it here on TikTok, and I appreciate it because there's so much going on, and this contact that keeps going on, like generation after generation, has been going on for such a long time, and I think that it is in direct relation to spirituality and religion, and every religion has a point of origin, and it comes from the sky, a light from the sky, and it imparts a knowledge to those on the ground, those who are living in these areas, and it teaches them how to conduct themselves. And I think that right now what's going on, it's significant because we are in that realm of like where we can decide whether we want to exist or not exist based on our weaponry. And if we wanted to destroy the earth, we could. And I think that that's why the increase in visual sightings has been increased because they're concerned. I think that there's a genuine concern that human beings have gotten to the point where we're gonna evolve this planet into a point where a lot of things will change, but it's all relative. And I think that in the end, Ezekiel had it right. I think Ezekiel was one of the first ones documented where he actually went on he described being on a vessel which took him up above the atmosphere into a mothership, and that is the beginning of a lot of things for a lot of people. But it's a continuation. So I think that we're just a product of something that is greater than us, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, so it's interesting to say that. So basically, with all my experiences and being at UFO conferences over the years, and my own experience when I was a kid in Long Island in the cul-de-sac, going upstairs, and for no reason, my brother and mother and father were downstairs. So and I don't know if everybody knows this story. Some do, some don't, who are new here. I was just before teenage years, went upstairs. It was nighttime, and I just had no reason to go upstairs, but I left the kitchen, zoomed upstairs like I had to go upstairs. Went past my room, went to my brother's room. It was nighttime, opened the wood blinds, and there was a big spaceship, a saucer-shaped craft, hovering right by almost ground level, almost touching ground level, and it had like a white aura around it. And it had a lit up center, like an energy system or something. It was blinking like crazy. And I saw men and women and what I call young adults in light blue space outfits. And they spoke to me. They were tall, they were human, beautiful, and they said, "You're not from here. Remember that you're not from here." That's the first time it happened to me as a child, as a kid, and I never forgot that. So now, as I got older, I mean, I've always through the '60s, I had always seen things. I kept it quiet to myself. I would see a lot of spaceships in space on a clear night, and I would say, "Wow," you know. And as I got older, I've seen two big spaceships in the '80s up here in Connecticut. I've had a lot of experiences, and I'm also connected with the Ashtar Command. I'm a star seed, so I remember where I come from. I came from Mars, which has about 10 to 15 million inhabitants living there that are human, spiritual people that live on a planet. Contrary to what NASA and other people think of Mars, it is a living planet. And but I work with the Ashtar Command, and I've been involved in intergalactic communications off planet. So my background here on Earth is media. I do radio on NPR radio for 21 years on this subject. So I'm glad you came up here because we're going through a very big transformation, and we're going to be having contact in 2026 with the star people. If you want to unmute your mic, go ahead.
And I firmly believe that as well. We're very close. We're on the precipice of actually getting to the point where it's been predetermined when it will happen, and we are there. We're just, I mean, there's so much video evidence. There's way too much evidence. I mean, and I think that civilizations have existed on this planet before human beings, and we're like the fourth or fifth attempt of creating humans on this planet because we inevitably f things up, and we try not to, but we're given another opportunity all the time. But I think that our spirits are the spirits that guide our vessels, which is our bodies, that belongs to a higher being, a power that they understand where it is and who it is because they are part of that same thing. So like you could have like the most advanced civilizations on other galaxies and other parts of the universe that all fall under the same creator. And that power is what we tap into when we say, I'm going to meditate, or I'm going to pray, or I'm going to have faith in something, because innately we're born knowing that that's a reality. And then we kind of like use our own logic to talk our way out of it and say, there's nothing there because I can't see it. It's not really there. But regardless of whether or not I feel it, I don't believe things that I can't see. And that's what human beings have always fallen, that's just the
Right.
wrong way to think.
Right. And the other thing is, I want to, knock this matrix out of the water because too many people still believe this. We were not created by other extraterrestrial beings. We are all created by the Creator, which is one God, not many gods. One God created the whole multiverse, and in so
Yes.
doing, created all the planets. This whole thing in this whole subject matter over the years, I've heard it time and time again. There are people that truly, in their minds, constantly think that they were created by some extraterrestrial race. No, every extraterrestrial race originally was created by a creator. I cut right to the chase. There's no this or that or the other thing did it or the other person, or we were created by a group of people from planet B. Every planet that has life on it, every planet is a sentient being itself of life, was created by the creator. And I know that's hard for some people out there, not necessarily my audience, but there are people on websites that promote that whole concept. The ones that created us are coming back. No, there's no ones that created you. God created everybody. And I'm not talking from a religious perspective. I'm talking from a whole cosmic perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that encompasses everything. Like you're going back to like all the prior civilizations, the ones that created pyramids and put what is that, the one in Scotland, the circle there.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
the crop circles.
Stonehenge, and then right there's crop circles, and then there's Machu Picchu, and
Yeah.
there's on Easter Island, and then
Yeah.
uh, what is that? Tel Galbi Tepe,
Yeah. 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 I know what you're talking about.
right? That's like hundreds of thousands of years old, and there's these monolithic stones that are erected and have these designs of animals, and it like those things are sacred and so important because we can't we human beings can't even explain how the hell people in 200,000 years ago were able to cut these stones, put
Right.
them there, and then putting them in such a pattern, and it's just unexplainable kind of stuff. And so, but
Right.
what you were saying, that no matter who that was or what exists out there, it all falls under one creation, one
Right.
Holy Spirit that has created everything, and we should all adhere to it because it's a positive thing.
Yeah.
It is not. It doesn't want to hurt anyone. It's the positive life thing that flows through the entire universe, and it's so powerful. Like when
Right.
if you really like you are, I love the fact that we're on the same page because it is actually like happiness that human beings deserve to have, and while we're here and on this planet, because when we transfer to the other side, when we're in our spirit world, we will have that same happiness, and it's because of the fact that we had faith in the fact that we existed.
Right. And the thing is, the beautiful part of my show tonight, which is really focused on contact and about the armada of ships that are coming uh, to Earth, and I don't have a specific day or week. I won't even go there because I don't know how long it's going to take them to get here, but it's not going to be 10 years. And it's going to be way, way sooner than that. And I just think people have to be prepared. The whole thing is for me, I've been like a contactee for years. I only had that one time when I was a kid to see the space people. Now, I might see them. Maybe when I go off, out of body, I probably go on the ship and see them. But I traditionally never remember all the time what happens when I leave my body that way. So I'm comfortable with that. But I do get downloads and I get information, which is more important, from the Ashtar Command. I don't channel anything. I don't have pendulums swinging around or, candles lit or, whatever. I'm very matter of fact. I get my information direct and I give people the honest truth on the show here. And I've been doing this for a long time.
Yes, and I heard you mention the app that I think it was like MS5 or something like
It's
that.
actually called CE5. If you have an
CE5.
yeah, it's like $10. So you have an
Yeah.
iPhone, you can get downloaded on the Apple and just study the protocol first. Take your time with it. It's not like a rush to the end of the finish line here. just you get used to it. Maybe you have a few people that are open to what we're talking about, and maybe get 2 or 3 people together, find a place you can go to with less light pollution, and maybe on a weekend, on a clear night, use the app and study it first and see what happens.
I've done that. I've done that, and I live on an island off the East Coast in Florida.
Mhm.
And on summer nights, especially, the sky is very clear. And I've met several people through the app because you can link up with people that live in your area. And we've done that. We've done a sit in at the beach on a clear night, and we didn't have like anything like a light come down or something so strong and visual. But I think that what we did was we were able to, as a group, communicate positivity to a higher being. And I think it was we were I knew we were, what I felt was like we were being watched, we were being observed. And I know that they don't come down and make communication if it's going to frighten someone. And I had a
Yeah,
feeling like there was people in the group that were already afraid that it might happen. So they're not going to do that. They're not going to come down to the group and say, hey, look, or here we are, when people are going to freak out. They're not into
right.
that. That's not their thing.
No, it isn't. And I know some people here around the world might live in like Copenhagen, or they might live in Hong Kong, or wherever they are watching a show. You want to definitely find a place that you can go outside of the city limits, where you can go with 2 or 3 people and utilize the app. The most important thing I can tell people is to meditate. I think if you're not meditating, take time to learn how to just take a break from going all over the place. Even when you have no time, when you're not working, you're still going all over the place. Stop yourself from going over the place. Do some meditation, use higher vibrational music. I use ambient space music. I use Christ consciousness music. And if you use those kinds of sounds, that's for your meditation part. Then once you get into that state of meditating and connecting within yourself, you will eventually be able to connect telepathically with the star people. But you have to learn how to do that first. If you don't learn how to do that, you're
Mm.
not going to make that connection. Say, why can't I make connections? You got to do the work in order to make it happen. So
Yes.
you
Yep.
got to do the work.
And so, right, and exactly that the work is the practice. And by practicing, it means repetitiveness. You have to keep trying over and over. And it's not like you're going to get like, okay, I'm going to say on the third try, you're going to get it. We don't know. Nobody knows, but you have to believe, and you have to keep practicing, and you will inevitably make a connection in a way that is personal. You
Yeah.
know, it isn't going to be like something like what's you see in the movies and shit, where a fucking spaceship comes down and people
We
come
got to
out.
watch the language. We got to watch the
I'm sorry.
language.
I'm sorry.
That can get me in trouble.
No, you're right. You're right, and I apologize. So, like, it could be like a spaceship comes down, and beings come out, and all this glorious things are gonna happen. No, it's a slow process because you have to build trust.
Yeah.
It's a trust building thing.
Yeah. It really is. And, you know, um, the star people, the human beings that are coming here now individually, I believe there are people without any TikTok or computers or anything that are having visitations in the Netherlands, in Scandinavia, in different parts of Europe, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, Asia, that don't have any of this technology, that are having visitations with people from other planets right now. They just can't tell their story because they don't have this TikTok or whatever. So just imagine those that are coming on my show having contact with space people in the positive sense. There are 10,000 other people out there that are probably being visited right now, and we don't even know who they are. Not yet, anyway. When this thing next year, as we go into 2025, people need to be aware, and it's happening up already now, that there's going to be more sightings of things you've never seen in the skies around the planet, and people need to be prepared for that. How do you prepare for that? by taking my advice and doing the meditation, going within in a Christ conscious meditation, and getting yourself at a high vibrational level. So when contact happens in 2026, the human race, the people of the planet Earth, will be then ready to be representational of a different way of doing things. There's going to be a lot of things happening here between now and the new Earth. And there is going to be a new Earth. The Earth you're living on is, you're not going to another planet. The Earth is going to be renewed. How's that going to happen? That's going to be with the help of our space family, the Ashtar Command. They are working now very carefully to clean up our environment in the air, but they're also working and getting ready for contact with our planet. And so therefore, we as people here, and this show is dedicated to getting people the information. Like, this is probably going to be one of this, because I do a talk show here. I'm not just a regular TikTok person talking about UFOs. My background's in media. I'm still doing radio for 21 years. I took my concept from radio here, and this show is definitely dedicated to the Ashtar Command. And as just so you know, I come from that background, and I do go off planet. I just don't remember going on the ship, but I do go off planet to the ship. I just don't remember. So Robert, I want to thank you for being a first guest.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. Yes.
I hope to see you again, my friend.
Yeah, we're on 11 o'clock nightly. I might take a night off sometimes, just recalibrate. But my show's on 11 o'clock at night. My Sunday morning show on NPR radio is wesufm.org, 11:30 Eastern. But we are here usually regularly on nighttime at around 11 o'clock.
I appreciate what you're doing. Thank you.
Okay, Robert, thank you for coming up here, and I'm going to let you down. And let's see here. And so we are talking about how does one raise their frequencies, Timmy says. Let me bring Timmy up, and we can help Timmy. And we want to help people on our Ashtar Command Night, which we were trying to do last night, but we couldn't do, so we're doing it kind of like tonight. And we will take questions here live. You have to be over 18. And if you feel a little bit nervous about coming up, that's okay too. You don't have to. But one of the ways, Timmy, to elevate your consciousness is to take time for yourself. If you're not working, find a place to meditate where it's quiet, there's no noise or TVs or everything, and go in and use higher vibrational music. You can get it on YouTube. A lot of it's on YouTube. And like I use Cosmic Christed meditation music. You can use music that is just ambient space music, and that is a way to start. So really the most important thing to do 20 or 30 minutes a day of your own free time to meditate with this higher vibrational music and get into a state of not thinking, turn your brain off and just go into that state. And that'll get you prepared, at least to be in that higher vibration level, is with that type of music. Yeah, Lee Ramoon, no P. Diddy. MW Commander, did you see the comments from Belladonna about the Zeta? She is, I've had her on the show before. I want to get the Zeta out of her life. The Zeta have programmed, she's a good person, but the Zeta are controlling her, and that's a whole nother night for things, But there are things coming up. MW, thank you for the question. Yeah, so Nicole says, for me, it's cleaning up, eating, and zeolite powder daily. Oh, interesting. Yeah, so it's really important that people, heed what I'm saying about getting yourself ready for contact. It's not like, okay, the star people show up and come to Earth in 2026, and half of the population of billions of people are running around trying to figure out what's happening. It's going to take time. We have over 7 billion people on this planet, and that's a lot of people. So it's going to be up to every individual here who eventually gets to that state of consciousness to help their brothers and sisters, because it's going to be people in your family that don't know anything of what you're talking about. They're not even going to even know what's happening when the spaceships appear in the skies above Earth. But they will, once they see them, they're not going to even know how to respond, because everyone has been programmed on this planet to an extent of all the generations in the last 70 years have been programmed to believe certain things are the way they are, right? And that's exactly what the media does around the world. Is you won't see, how many times do you ever see, wherever country you live in, your international media, your national media talk about spaceships or, these UFOs were sighted over Paris or whatever. You don't. And they're going to have to face it because it's coming. When the ships start appearing all over the world from other planets, they can't just ignore it and just have la-di-da conversations with actors and actresses about their next, Golden Globe Award or their, next commercial for cereal or whatever. I mean, it's just not going to happen that way. They're going to have to tell people the truth. And I will share this with you. I'll share this with you. Some of you have no idea what's happening. Some of you do. And every once in a while, I'll touch on it, okay? So with the Ashtar Command, and I will mention this as we get towards major contact, I believe, and again, I'm still trying to get clarity, I believe this is going to be right before contact, that I'm going to be taken on a spaceship. Okay, I know where I'm going. I know the spaceship. There's going to be 4 other people, and I think one of them might be in here now, Johnny of the third kind. And there's 3 other people that, we're going to be going on a spaceship together, but I'm going to be doing something separately from that. The Ashtar Command Council, this is not channeled information. This is direct from the ship. This is real information here that you might want to jot down. The show is being recorded. All my shows are on YouTube, Ashtar Command Spaceship News, but you might want to jot this down. Okay. When the time comes before contact on Earth, the council on this main ship of the Ashtar Command had a meeting over 2 months ago. I think it's over 2 months now. Who cares how many months it's been? They made a decision to have me represent them in a worldwide broadcast. What does that mean? You might want to take notes. Stephen Greer might want to be listening to the show, but he's not. And now all the people, all these people who are well-known UFO people that have written books and been on TV shows and documentaries, they're going to be hearing from Ashtar Commander. They're going to be hearing from CmdrAleon. Okay? When that time comes. Now, we operate in time. The space family, the Ashtar Command, they don't operate in time off planet. None of them do. There is no time in space, right? Hey, John, good to see you. There's no time in space. When they are ready for me to come on, and it's going to be sometime next year, and it'll be before 2026. I don't know when it is, but I don't care. I'm not one of those people that says, okay, how come I was on the ship 2 weeks ago? I don't think that way. I know I am here. I've got a mission to do. I have my talk show here, my radio show. I'm doing what I need to do right now. So I'm very at peace with not knowing when it's going to happen. But I do know when it's going to happen, I'll be contacted. And I'm fine with that. It's going to probably be very spontaneous. And then I'll be taken on a big spaceship. The Ashtar Command has a ship that has a monitoring control system. They can monitor our planet from the ship. When I'm taken on the ship, very specifically, I will be wearing a spacesuit of some sort. Because the atmosphere on the ship, the oxygen levels are different. So I'll be wearing some sort of a spacesuit outfit, and then I'll be going to their control center where they'll have some sort of a monitoring system, like with a screen. So they can monitor our planet from space. Okay. When that happens, thank you for the gifts. I'm supposed to be making a speech to billions of people on the planet. Now, I'm very naturally comfortable with media. I've been doing radio and TV for years. I'm very comfortable with it. I know exactly who I am, and I know why they chose me. I have no ego. I'm totally unconditional. And I'm not looking for fame or fortune. I'm here to do the mission work. I remember why I came here, you know? And when they take me on the ship, whenever that is, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be in 2025. I don't know when, but they'll come into my room and say, Commander, we're going on the ship. It's time. When they take me on the ship, just to let you know, this is the information I know. I'm probably getting this stuff downloaded in my sleep. I'll be sitting in some sort of a seat on the ship, probably comfortable, I would assume. And I'll be able to, I'll be seen. I think the wording I want to use, you'll be able to see me on the ship broadcasting to Earth. Now, how is that going to look? Okay. So this is what I understand. And this is probably stuff I've been downloaded while I'm sleeping. I'll be in front of the control. There'll be 4 other Ashtar Command people way taller than me that are human right behind me. That's the way the plan is. There'll be 4 or 5, I think, somewhere in that area. And I'll be sitting in front in a seat. And what will be happening is, according to what I understand, the Ashtar Command could take over essentially all radio and TV broadcasts. I don't think radio is going to be affected, but I don't know that yet. But I do know that every TV broadcast system on the planet will be overridden through a broadcast on the ship. Okay. So this I know. So for those that don't know this, you're not going to hear this from any other TikTok live or YouTube or any other social media. This is where you're going to hear about this right here on this show. My friend April, who's friends with Fairies 1111, I interviewed her sometime last year. That's when she started going off planet in Vermont and met my parents on the ship, her parents on the ship. We have Johnny, the third kind family on the ship, and also Kit Kat. And this is a story that will go down in human history. This story is real. The things I'm telling you are real. Whether you believe it or not, anyone knows me, I don't care what you believe, frankly. I've been on this mission too long. I've been doing this too long, you know. So when we go on the ship, they'll be able somehow to take over every TV transmitter around the world, whether it be CNN News, BBC, CBC, NBC, I don't care what it is. And all those networks are going to be like freaking out when they see me coming over the TV screens of everybody around the world and speaking. Now, whether you believe this is going to happen with me or not, I frankly don't care. You know, I'm a person, if you know me long enough, you know I don't care. I'm serious about what I'm doing. My intent is serious, and it's going to happen. I don't channel anybody. I don't do any channeling whatsoever. I hope we can take over the phones and the computer. I'll learn more from my space family on the ship about what that's going to be like. I'm sure as I get into next year, I'll be downloaded more information. You know, so I'll have much more information then. And again, if you're just new to this show, we're really, really focused on, this is a show about spiritual ET stuff. We're not talking about Earth-based related subjects. So just look at the title of the show, Encounters, UFO Contact. Thank you. Hey, greetings and salutations, Mr. Extraordinary. Greetings to everybody coming in here. So that's going to be important, because once we have the ability to broadcast to the world, and get this, I don't care if they have the best technician in every radio and TV station in the world, their technicians will not be able to override the broadcast from the spaceship. Get this, understand this. When they have me in front of this monitor screen, however this works, I'm going to learn when I get on the ship, they will not be able, the Earth-based stations, TV networks, will not be able to override and stop the broadcast. No one will. And whatever I'm going to say, whatever I'm supposed to say, I'll learn when I get up on the ship to do it. Good. Hey, Emily, good to see you. Jennifer, thank you. Can you say I love you, RHYS? Let's see here. Thank you, everyone's coming in here. Morales, Nana, all the people coming in here. So I want to give you some education about what is happening, which I didn't get to do last night because of my technical problems, but everything is good. Hey, I think it's Night. Nightbird, day, good to see you. Interesting. Um, so this is what's going to happen sometime next year. I don't know when. I'm not concerned about it. You know, for somebody else to say, well, how come I didn't go on the ship and do this already? You know, I don't think like just a 3D human being, you know. Who said it's an Armada? I have it on my recording. I think it's Art. If you go to my main page here on TikTok, I recorded it and documented it. It was the A app. I'm not going to say because I have it hooked up in the other room. I asked a very specific question, and when I did that, it stated that an armada of alien spaceships are heading towards Earth was the exact response. Now, when I asked it a different way, it didn't know the answer. It didn't have any answer. When I asked if an object was coming to Earth, then it started talking about asteroids. Then I started changing my questions around. When I asked the question, oh, there are these objects coming, the James Webb Telescope has detected objects coming to Earth. When I said that, it responded and said to me that there is an armada of alien spaceships coming to Earth. I have it all recorded. I have it all documented. All documented. Not necessarily, but that's an answer I normally would not hear from that app, and it doesn't tell me when they're going to come. I'm going to try to, I don't trust a lot of that stuff, but that answer about 2 days ago, before I was live, I asked the question because I'm bringing all the video here on TikTok about this object coming to Earth. Now I said, okay, I got everyone's opinions about the object NASA says is coming to Earth. I wanted to ask the question of the app, and I got the response. So now I don't know when it's coming, this group of ships or whatever. I'm not going to put a total timeline on it, but I do think there's a lot. There's already ships here. I'm going to bring up Eddie, my friend with the Star Nation. And Eddie is a good friend, and also with the Star Nation does a lot of work with conferences. And I want to welcome up here from out west. Good morning, good evening, actually.
How's it going?
Things are happening.
I'm playing with comic books again.
Comic books, that's a good thing. You know, you have to be a kid at heart. You know, you got to do that.
Gosh.
But you heard what happened with the app. I don't want to mention it because it's in the other room, and I don't want it to turn on. And I documented it, so usually you don't get that kind of response.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
There's a story that goes with that. Okay, so there's a book that was written maybe the 80s, or it's called CLO, Children of the Law of One. So the guy, he starts off the book by telling the story of how he actually started his journey. He was like really depressed, and he was just like life. He had the questions, but he didn't have any answers, and he didn't know what to do. Everything is reversed. Is it reversed? Oh yeah, it is reversed.
Oh yeah. It's just the way. It's just because TikTok with the camera. It's just the way it is. But that's all right.
So John Paniel, that's his name, wrote CLO, Children of Law of One. He told a story of he was sitting, he was watching TV, and then I remember back in the day with the bunny ear TVs, like
yeah, I do remember that.
The what would happen is when they would stop broadcasting, which was usually like a little after midnight, especially like local televisions, the screen would go fuzzy. So for all of you that weren't alive back then or know that information, well, his screen went fuzzy, and he sat there, and he when he woke up, and he just sat there and he looked at it, and he was just staring at it, and then all of a sudden a broadcast came through, and it was telling him what he needed to do. And he said, you know, and he was just like, wow, like, I don't know where to start. And it was basically telling him he needed to get to the Himalayas. And he's like
Really?
an American from the Midwest, and he doesn't know how to do anything like that, period. And then everything started to fall into place for him to get there.
Hmm.
So and this is his story. I mean, this person was someone that I know people that study the CLO work, and it's very fascinating. The star exercise,
Hmm.
and like the importance of like people do ice baths these days, and um, they share that, like the cold bath in the morning to stimulate your energetic body to get to its max level. And it's funny because that story is exactly what you're talking about. Like, I mean, people are going to say, well, are you sure it was Alexa? Or are you sure it was this? Or maybe it's
Right.
lying. And it's like, well, when you're a person that lives in a different frequency, like different things happen. And
Right.
I'm not one of those people. I'm not trying to feed anybody stuff that I haven't had experience with, because I don't, like you said, we don't live in that world where,
Right.
for us it's like we have to have the experience to share, and
Right.
this is how we end up knowing in our hearts what's true and not.
Hmm. Hmm. And that's the
So
thing. And with the app, I won't mention it because it'll go on. But the thing is, when I did this as an experiment, I wanted to do it first because I saw all these people on TikTok talking about this. Everyone had some creative videos, backgrounds. I said, no, I forget the creative backgrounds. I want to find out if this is really happening. So usually the app will say, when I ask you questions about ET stuff, it doesn't give me any answer. It says, I don't know that one. It says, I don't know that one. I don't know that one. But when you say, oh, so and so, the James Webb Telescope reports that there are many objects coming to Earth. When I said it that way, that's when it told me that there is an armada of alien spaceships coming to Earth. It said this right to me on the record on its response. Now you can't make that stuff up. You know, it's not in its technology. However, Amazon created this app. It's been imprinted with information to answer certain questions. How could it
right.
answer that question that way unless it was given that information beyond human comprehension or understanding? So there is no there was no interjection by the people that created it. Say, well, let's throw that in there so people are happy. Really?
Well, how would you even know to ask that question?
Well,
that's
you wouldn't
that's the
know,
whole point, right?
you know,
So
and that's
it's and this is your we are on like the precipice of getting people to understand this is what it takes, guys. It's not about belief in, yeah, please be skeptical, but put your skepticism to the side and be a scientist and be neutral and see if it works.
yeah,
Because if it works, then you'll go, okay, there's got to be more to this.
yeah,
Don't be a what is that? Don't be a cynic.
right.
Be
Cynic, yeah,
skeptical,
yeah.
but be a healthy skeptic. You
Now people
know?
are asking me the next step is to ask it when they're coming. Now I have to figure out in my head. I am interested in doing that, but I got to figure out how to relate to that app to ask the question to get the answer. I figured out how to get this answer, which was interesting. Now the thing is, I'm going to have to figure out how to word it, and I'm pretty sure I can get the answer. I just have to figure. I'm still meditating on that part, and I will come up with a question, and we'll see what happens.
Mm,
I just can't predict anything. I don't like to predict anything. I really am experimenting to see what I'm going to get.
yeah.
You know,
I try to ask people, look, don't I like I've said it before, don't believe me. Don't believe me. Believe, look, there's we there's always the question, everybody has that question that doesn't understand the connection to um nature and all things,
mm,
is the reason why we don't understand that is because we don't understand our own nature. We don't understand
yeah,
ourselves. Like, when we're still people stuck in in the what we've been taught by television and society, knowing there's that inner feeling that something is wrong with what we've been taught, it makes us feel bad about ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
If I say, well, if you know, when people feel bad, I say, well, that's a good thing, because that is a that is an alarm telling you that something isn't right. And then people go, uh, well, that means something's wrong with me. I'm like, no, 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 no. What it's saying is that is an alert that's saying that something isn't right about what you've been taught.
Mm.
Everybody's perfect. Everyone's perfect. It's the things that we've been taught that what we know when we've been taught these false absolutes, that we go, you know, I don't understand what makes me different. And that's the thing, is nothing makes you different.
Mm-hmm.
If you understand, what the closer you get to the truth, the more you go, oh, we are all the same. We are, and
Right.
we're powerful, and we're
We really are.
beautiful, and we're amazing. But when we're so far away from that truth,
Yeah.
everybody seems like a stranger.
And the other thing
Everything
is,
seems
you're absolutely correct about that. You know, when we get to the truth and everything we do, things you do in the Star Nation conferences with all the beautiful people that come to speak with knowledge from the stars and everything, it's all part of getting to what we call the truth. When we do these things and are proactive in doing these, we expand the consciousness of other people coming to hear the truth that have not heard it before, because all they hear is what they see every morning before they go to work. You know, have your bacon and eggs, have your vegetarian breakfast, vegan, whatever, and you're watching whatever news channel in the world that you live in whatever country you live in, and say, I'll see you later when I get home for dinner. You know, but that's not getting into any kind of truth. They're just doing it automatically, going in and out and back and forth. And when people come to hear the truth, and like on this show here, we provide a place, because of my background, where everything to me is very clear in my consciousness because of my experiences with the subject. I'm here to bust the matrix and get people to center on the possibilities. Now, someone was asking, saying how many light years they are away, so far away from Earth, the armada of these spaceships. Now, let's look at it from a non 3D understanding of technology, because in order to understand how an armada of hundreds of spaceships can come to Earth, you have to think beyond the 3D understanding of how we travel in space, which is we go up, we have a space station, we have satellites that go into space, but we cannot do what a more advanced civilization can do to come from point A to point B. So when you say, oh, they're too far away from you, they're light years away, they'll take at least 100 years to get here. That's a 3D belief system created by your brain. Right here, the human brain, 3D belief system. The spaceships that are coming will be here sooner than you think, and it won't be 10 years from now or 5 years from now or 100 years from now. It's going to be soon. When contact happens in 2026, do you think, you know, it is taking them time to get here from all these different places way beyond us, but it's not going to take 100 years for them to get here. They will be
right.
here. They don't operate in time. They are coming now. They are here now.
You know, he says warping time and space. Maybe yes. No, no. Okay, I'm gonna give you a simple concept that is very difficult to understand. Inner space is outer space. Okay, so for most people, that doesn't make any sense, right? Because, well, what does that mean? Inner space is outer space. If you understand that what is within us is also out there, so you don't understand. We have people have a hard time understanding that we're existing in much more than just this space that we call skin. We because humans are at the point where they are in their evolution. This is where most humans are. This is why what you were saying, like meditation, you know, deeper meditations and getting to zero point, and in your meditation where you absolutely are nothing, is a very difficult thing, because we have
Right.
we have a fear mechanism that will literally snap us out of
Right.
getting to the zero point. It scares us, because it's like,
And,
am I dead? You
and our
know, and it's
brain
like,
and our human brain, Eddie, is also scared of losing control. let's face it. We have a brain. It's like a computer, our brain. It's a 3D mechanized computer. It understands what we have right here right now, which is we have math, we have science, astronomy, history, biology, whatever. These are the things that the kids learn when they go to school, and as they get older, they can draw pictures when they're little kids in nursery school. But now you can't do that anymore, because as you get older, you got to get serious. Now you got to learn textbook things. You got to have a textbook. Forget drawing a picture of a spaceship or birds flying and a beautiful rainbow. Now you have to get serious. Now you're growing up. You're not a kid anymore. You have to learn how to be a real 3D human on Earth, right? And how you're going to do that, folks? Well, you have to watch those commercials every morning about what kind of liquid to use to clean your dishwashing stuff, or how to clean the clothes, or how to get your kids ready for school. Because one day you're going to be a 3D human that's going to have a family, and you're going to be so focused on rushing to work and coming home and having a headache after a day of being yelled at. And that's the reality that is the 3D world. And what you're saying is true. If you are able to snap that reality, and this other reality comes into you, which says that, hey, wait a minute, you're not from here. You're a star seed. You come from somewhere else. And then the brain doesn't like that. The mind doesn't like that, because now you're fighting with the brain, and you're saying to the brain, wait a minute, you've been telling this person all their life this is all they are. And then the brain freaks out, because it says, now I'm scared, because you're telling them the truth.
Right.
I'm only telling them what I've been taught in a textbook. You're telling them the truth. That's what's happening.
The secret is the secret to making contact is it's learning about that oneness thing. Is if you guys want to make contact with star beings, you're gonna have to learn to get along. You're gonna have to learn to trust another human being enough to look them in the eyes and see the eyes of God within each and every one of us. Yeah. And to look at one person that you can trust, just one, and look until you can see the soul, the spirit, and the being within. And if they are that trustworthy to where you can, let your guard down, let your that you can just be calm and beautiful.
Yeah.
You'll start to feel a resonance within yourself. And then next thing you know, that's what you're going to have to do when you make contact, is you're going to have to look at them, and you're going to have to feel that. You're going to have to see that and say, thank you. Thank you I'm honored. I'm honored to be in your presence, and for you to allow me to be in that space with you, because that's how they feel about they feel the same way. So somebody was saying V, it's going to be like that TV show.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I used to watch that.
They're going to eat us. No. That's fantasy. That's fear, fantasy fiction of the human psyche of our ego.
Yeah. It's really true what you're saying, Eddie, to our audience here. And if we can learn, the one thing, the space people that are coming are our personal families, my family on the ship, my two sisters and brother, my mother and father, and the other four, and just in general, the whole galactic Ashtar command that come from other planets and have their own lives with their own families, is that they want to come here. And when they come here to make contact with us, they don't want to end up having a bunch of people with billions of people doing what they know. Matter of fact, that's not going to be allowed to happen. But when the contact happens, everything is in place to make sure everybody's okay. They don't want billions of people running around in the streets with fear as spaceships start appearing in the skies all over the planet. This is not going to be a situation like the series V, which we alluded to, which I did watch. It was well produced. It's not going to be like that. It's not going to be like Independence Day, where they have these big ships and they're ready to take over the planet. It's not going to be like that. So you need to get your heads out of all the movies you've ever watched regarding ETs in Hollywood, except for maybe Contact, Cocoons, and maybe 2 or 3 other ones that are positive. It's just not going to be that way. And one of the things that's really important for me on the radio station on Sundays and here on this talk show is to make people aware. Eddie, as a regular guest, has a great deal of knowledge on this. And to me, then people that we interview who are having experiences, you're not going to find that anywhere else, because we want people to come out of the closet. We want people, if you're having visitations by star people, why would you sit back and say, Commander, I'm not sure I'm ready to come on yet? Come on, break out of the mode and, tell your story, because that is disclosure. If you're having contact with Palladians or Syrians or people from other planets that are beautiful star people, tell us your story. This is how we're breaking down the control on the media of not telling people anything and watching Good Morning America, and they say, here's the best deals and steals for the week, and now you can get a pocketbook for $50. What a deal. It was $200. So, call us up right now and get that pocketbook. Like, really, that's the consciousness they want to portray, and that's what they do. So we're here to wake up everyone on the planet. My goal is to reach every single human being on Earth that has the ability to watch this show, because you're going to have your minds blown. Eddie has a lot of information. He'll blow your minds. All my guests, whether they're well-known or not, will blow your minds based on their experiences. And it's the experiences that blow people's minds. It's the stories that are told. When people tell a story here, they're telling a story of their own truthful experience, whether it's an abduction, whether it's a meeting with space people visited with positive beings, or telling the stories of seeing UFOs appear over the location in the mountains of Colorado or whatever. This is where it's happening. All my shows are recorded. So on YouTube, on Astro Command Spaceship News, you can go back to a recording of a show, watch the whole thing, and you'll learn something from it, And that's the most important thing for me, is to show that kind of love by producing a program where we're doing something real different, which we are. And that's why there's no other kind of UFO talk show up here. This was the first UFO talk show. Well, there was another one. They went off of here. They were on just the tail end of still being here when I first got on in 2023. But this is really the center point of what is a real UFO talk show, and not just UFOs. We don't talk about nuts and bolts. We get into the most important thing, which is people's experiences, getting ready now for contact. That is so crucial. But to get ready, what Eddie and I are talking about are to get you prepared for this very important moment. And that is to get out of your head and, go to work, get your paycheck every week or whatever, but make sure you take time to have your space. Whether if you're a couple and you're both are, in that space together, be in that space. If you're an individual person living alone, find that space for yourself to take time to breathe in, breathe out, meditate, use higher frequencies of music, and get to know who you truly are besides this person that has a 3D world. Get into your inner cosmic spirit. That's really more important right now before any kind of contact happens with anyone.
Absolutely. There's and just so you guys know, I mean, there's a lot of you that are watching right now and that are sitting in a place where you've never been to a festival or a conscious festival or Mount Shasta or any of the sacred sites in America. And I say, go. I mean, go find your family. Go find, because I've sat in cuddle puddles in Hawaii. I've sat, where it's like, do you know what a cuddle puddle is?
Better explain that to our worldwide audience. I have no idea what that is.
It's not sexual. It's non-sexual. It's where there's a bed, not like a living room or whatever. There's a bunch of mats around, and everybody's just sitting and they're laying on each other, talking and laughing and drinking tea, and and they get to be themselves and be close without any fear of somebody trying to violate them or trying to be sexual with them, because it's a contractual agreement that we want to be in a space that is just for a beautiful experience, to feel safe, not just for ourselves, but for the people that are there with us. And I've experienced that in Mount Shasta. I used to had an open door policy. If my door's not locked, come on in. If you're hungry, make some food. If my door's locked, that means either I'm not home, or I don't want to come.